Hey folks, so if reporters can do shoots from their sheds, I'm going to do one from the great outdoors and just share a bit of this glorious day. It's kind of amazing how we've had in Ireland storm after storm after storm since Christmas, and then as quick as we go into lockdown, the sun comes back out. It's like nature knows and is rewarding us. So yesterday I spoke a little bit about how important our guts and our gut health is for our immune response and our immune response in the lungs, and I thought I'd chat a little bit more about that, and also just to say, we're all doing the right thing. It's really hard at the moment. I'm so fortunate that I live in the countryside and I can go for a spin and see nobody and not get in trouble for it. In some countries now the military is getting heavily involved. A few years ago I was blessed to spend some time in Sedona, and I did a trip to the Hopi Prophecy Stones in Arizona with Alan, who is a member of the Frog Clan, and Clint. And the Prophecy Stones tell the story of man, and I think it's the four cycles of life. And I spent some time in meditation with my hands on the stones, and I suppose I had a pretty powerful vision of a great darkness spreading over Europe. And at the time, I was very sad and upset, actually. I felt like I was seeing something that was about to happen, and I suppose my mind's interpretation was that it was terrorism, especially seeing things were starting to kick off in Europe. But that sort of stopped. There was some bombings, and horrendous things happened, and it changed, and I felt that, maybe between the power of governments and people and meditation, that something changed, and what I had seen didn't fully play out, thank goodness. But now I'm beginning to wonder, was that great darkness that I saw spread over Europe exactly what is happening now? And the virus isn't the darkness, unfortunately. It's us and how we respond to this, and we have to do the right thing to protect our people, to protect our countries, to protect one another, to collaborate, to see every person as a valued person in this. And there is no countries, there is no boundaries, there is no colours, there is no religions. We're all in this together, and there are places that are weaker than us, and there are places that have strength, and let's pray that that gets shared equally right now. So anyway, back to the gut. Why might we have issues with our gut or a weakness going on there? Well, the gut microbiome starts in the womb. So how a pregnancy goes is significant. How a baby is born, whether it's C-section or natural birth, can change how the microbiome starts. Then whether we're breastfed or not. Then if we get sick and have multiple courses of antibiotics, diet, stress, early childhood adverse events, trauma or stress that may happen in our teenage years. We don't plan for negative things to happen. I think every mother wants the best for baby. Most people want to breastfeed. Most people don't want for antibiotics to be given, but sometimes these things just happen, and it can lead to issues with the health of the gut. So if you feel that your children, for example, may have had a couple of challenges with how their bacteria health is, you might want to consider at the moment looking at how you may improve what are called prebiotic foods in their diets, and perhaps to consider a probiotic specifically formulated for baby, infant, young child, teenager. All of this information is on the internet. I'm going to keep this short and give you the information that you need, and if you need more, you can contact me or seek it yourself. We have time a little bit to look into these things at the moment. But if you are worried that the youngsters in the family might need a bit of support, then now is the time to really look at that. Clues that there may be problems: digestive problems, tummy aches, bowel problems, diarrhea, constipation, eczema, allergies, hay fever, behavioral problems, mood problems, even depression, memory, focus, attention, persistently getting sick with infections, low immune system. And they're all slight clues that there could be a weakness going on there that is information for us to act on. Then looking at as adults, well, again, our early formative years are very important. If we've had a lot of stress, if there's been trauma, big emotional stressors, grief, loss, anxiety, fear, accidents, surgeries, anything that would be considered a stress or a trauma, will have an impact on the gut. Again, multiple rounds of antibiotics, certain medications like proton pump inhibitors, steroids, corticosteroids are going to impact our gut health as well. So, think, is this me? Then looking at your health now, have you got digestive problems, IBS, IBD, like Crohn's, ulcerative colitis, diverticulitis, gluten intolerance, just a gut that isn't right, serious bouts of food poisoning, immune system problems, so getting sick a lot, more serious problems like autoimmune, musculoskeletal, and neurodegenerative, things like multiple sclerosis, amyotrophic lateral sclerosis, even neuropathies, persistent lung infections, asthma. The list sort of goes on. If there's major health issues in challenging you, and you have a story of these insults on the gut, then you may also want to look at a diet to support gut health, rich in prebiotic foods, and consider supplementation with a good probiotic. But if your issues are serious, I really would suggest working with a functional medicine therapist that specializes in gastrointestinal problems and has access to microbiome testing. Now, that said, you could put that on the long finger for now, but I'm just saying, if there's a weakness in the gut, there's so much that can be done to address this and heal this and then have a significant impact on the rest of your health. But for now, have a look at lists of prebiotic foods that feed the gut, probiotic containing foods like fermented foods. Maybe a probiotic could be helpful, but diet does shift things an awful lot in the gut. If there's foods that just don't suit you, keep them out of the diet for now. Limit gluten, limit dairy if that feels right for you. It would be suggested. And look at soothing foods and healing foods to add in. Now, I'm here if you need any support in this. I'm just giving brief touches on things at the moment in these videos, but now is your chance to really look at your health and think about, does it need an overhaul? Do I need to work with someone? Is something not right? If there is an infection going on, it can be tricky to deal with this just with diet. So if you've been hitting your head off a wall with elimination diets, FODMAP, low FODMAP diets, and even probiotic foods and prebiotic foods, and it's not making a difference, then there's something deeper going on that we need to have a look at. There could be a parasite, for example, that may need a stronger handed approach from someone who knows what they're doing to save you the time messing around with trying to get it right. So that's why we need to take care of our guts. And that links with how strong our immune systems are. And our immune system strength is everything right now. And that's also why it's really important to get outside in nature like I am right now. We just did actually, I think the cleaners take an hour to clean our house, and splitting it 50-50 between myself and Garen, it took at least 2 hours. I think I've done my exercise already, but I needed to get the hell out of there. So, take care everyone. Get your sunshine. Stay healthy. Stay happy.